Off along with India food. Then we be going to India, South Africa, because the only way.
Let's be run so we go east instead of going to South Africa.
You Kazi. Then Columbus went super mega far through the Atlantic Ocean and landed on India like a beached whale. Then some fat guy named Balololololololo came up to his fat obese body and said, "Ooh, hey, oh, which meant you white, that mean you God. Rah. And then I gave him a shit ton of stuff, and Columbus ran away back to ugly British. But on his way, he thought it would be funny to light some of the plants they gave him on fire after he wrapped it in a sheet of used toilet paper and breathed it in. But then his eyes got mega bloodshot, and then he got mega happy, because that plant was actually tobacco, and he was just an idiot that was happy. But when he got back home, he told Britain,
Hey, me, found India too.
all the while his eyes were still extremely bloodshot. So Britain thought he was batshit crazy, but then Columbus said,
And then there's gold everywhere.
and that made Britain super mega crazy, so he started throwing stuff at his wife because she wasn't what he meant when he said
Gold and wife.
But now that he could get all the gold he wanted, he was interested. But clearly not interested enough, because he got mega mad and started screaming at Columbus, "You are fat because that cost money, and I don't see you with any India to money." So Columbus got mega mad and went to the Spain's house and said, "Cocalini so cocal sibo baba," which was Columbus's terrible attempt at speaking Spanish. But then Spain spoke in perfect English and said, "You
No, I speak English, right?
But that made Columbus angry because he thought that Spain was mocking English.
I thought you lived in my country. Why the hell do you not know my language?
But then Columbus remembered how to speak Spanish and then told Spain, "So the earth is run great."
So I go est and me get to India.
Oku,
No, me no get to India, me get to India too.
Oku, they find new land with more brown people.
We saw me card.
Gold and hammock look. Then Columbus turned into an Amish person and built the hammock mega fast, then went back to normal and jumped into the hammock, which almost exploded due to how fat he was. But nonetheless, Spain was impressed.
Oh, look, me not done.
Then Columbus pulled out a massive fruit that looked like something you would find in your sister's closet and turned into a 20-year veteran California Starbucks worker that specializes in white girl orders. And then Spain's kitchen turned into a modern kitchen, and Columbus started doing crazy stuff to the fruit. And after only 20 seconds, he handed something called coconut milk. And when Spain drank it, his liver ruptured from the immense amount of proteins that just entered his bloodstream. But he was fine for now.
The taste is particular.
Yeah.
Then Columbus shit his pants and whipped it off and then rolled some tobacco into a cylinder and lit it and handed it to Spain. Suck it! What? Suck it? Okay then. When Spain breathed it in, he just flat out died because all the blood drained from his brain, but since the coconut milk was full of proteins that are better than anything else on the planet, he came back to life and his liver was fixed. Whoa! Cortez, get the fuck over here! Then some fat ginger guy sprinted into the room wearing full knight armor and screamed, "Is it time for me to get rich, yaya?" Then the fat guy got on a mega big boat with A3424 cannons after stealing all of Columbus' maps and started going so fast that his boat flipped every 4 seconds until he reached his max speed. This left Columbus completely dumbfounded because those maps weren't even maps. They were all just pages ripped out of a Playboy book. Then Columbus threw a solid gold bar at Spain, and that made Spain turn into catatonic comatose vegetable of a dying sickle, bone cancer, skin cancer, black plague infested man. But then Cortez arrived to India too and spread it up to some random dude and said, "Give me food now!" This scared the guy, so he started running mega fast to his papa's big temple house. And Cortez followed on his mega buff and Andalusian horse. But since the people in the temple house have never seen a horse, they started bowing down to Cortez, but he thought they were asking to blow him, so he started screaming, "I want food, not sucky!" This scared the people, but they didn't speak Spanish, so they started bringing him gold and silver bars as fast as they possibly could. Some people even started having heart attacks because of how fast they were running, but eventually they brought Cortez a cup of what looked like diarrhea. But since Cortez was mega parched mac and cheese mouth, he drank it and his liver ruptured because of the insane amounts of proteins that just entered his bloodstream. But it tasted like rotting fetus, but it made his brain happy when he drank it, even though it tasted like rotting fetus. This made Cortez very happy, so he pointed to the cup and handed it back to one of the guys, who spread it off and back in 2 seconds with an even bigger cup full of the same thing. And Cortez opened his mouth and pointed to it. But since the guys were dumb, one of them ripped their jaw off and handed it to him. But he got mad and threw it away. So one of them finally realized that he wanted food, so he told the people around him, "Escoaka tlajdali nopa, Yue tlajdali ama oya mitski chiwas nopa, tlajdali." So then all of them started sprinting to get food. When they came back, they were all holding something completely different. One of them was just holding something rolled in a leaf and it was on fire. This intrigued Cortez, so he tried eating it, but he saw a fat guy holding the same thing, but he was sucking on it. So Cortez sucked on the leaf, but... So then all of them started sprinting to get food. When they came back, they were all holding something completely different. One of them was just holding something rolled in a leaf and it was on fire. This intrigued Cortez, so he tried eating it, but he saw a fat guy holding the same thing, but he was sucking on it. So Cortez sucked on the leaf bud. So then all of them started sprinting to get food. When they came back, they were all holding something completely different. One of them was just holding something rolled in a leaf and it was on fire. This intrigued Cortez, so he tried eating it, but he saw a fat guy holding the same thing, but he was sucking on it. So Cortez sucked on the leaf bud.
This made his brain nearly stop working, but also made him mega hungry. So he started eating all the food the people were giving him. Eventually, he got so fat that he had to be placed on a cart and rolled into the ship, but only after telling the people that he needed gold and silver, of which they gave him 43,337 gold bars and 43,93,374, 43,93,334 silver bars. But then some guy named Pretzel Pointy came up to Cortez and said, "You are no god," in perfect Spanish that scared Cortez. So he ran away and got in his mega boat. So when Cortez got back to Spain, he was so obese that he was the size of a house and had to be rolled on a cart back to Spain's house. But when Spain saw him, he got mega happy, came up to Cortez and said, "You are no god," in perfect Spanish that scared Cortez. So he ran away and got in his mega boat. So when Cortez got back to Spain, he was so obese that he was the size of a house and had to be rolled on a cart back to Spain's house. But when Spain saw him, he got mega happy because this meant they were mega rich. But then Columbus said, "I want some too!" But Spain wasn't willing to share. So he shot Columbus and his brain matter exploded all over Britain and France's house, which gave them ideas to do the same thing that Cortez did. Since Spain was super proud of Cortez's work, he let him keep 300 gold bars and 500 silver bars for himself, but he already died from obese. But when the British sent a team of fat people to the place Cortez went to so they could get mega rich, they just found 3 million rotting blackened corpses with lumps all over them. So instead of going there, they went to this place called Papua New Guinea and made a colony. But then one day when more people were scheduled to show up, the whole camp disappeared and the ship full of people left because they got scared. But before they left, they saw something carved on a tree and it said, "If you read this, you is a gay." But since gay was super hated in this time period, the guy who read it was beaten and left there on the land where nobody lived, never to be seen again. Only 7 years after that, Britain sent more people, and this time they actually survived. Never mind, they all died immediately. Then they sent more people, and this time they were able to build a house. This followed by France building a house there too, and everyone lived happily ever after. This broadcast is in.
As Napoleon once said, "Shut up! We already know what next." Then he got posse's ears by turn ever and said, "I'm Trevor, blah-la-loo-glow-ga-la-go."
I won't say blah-hally-halloo heck anyways. After France finally made up their mind about how he should run his house, he decided to let his stupid video, children vote for what they gotta have for dinner. But Britain don't like that idea, so they throw an onion through France's kitchen window and it cuts perfectly, and it just so happens France is watching a mega sad movie. So when the onion mac them cried because they watch a sad movie, this enrages Sardinia, who starts firing nails at France's house. When one eventually hits the TV in the living room, France completely crashes out and gets big buff and crabs Sardinia and throws them at the Pope's house, who gets mega pissed off. So they come out and start firing holy rockets at France, but they buff so they resist it, and all France ends up doing is just slapping the Pope and forcing him into fixing the Catholic churches in France, which he does while being held hostage. After that, France starts getting beat up by the HRE in Austria, but France's babies take all the punches because that's what babies are for in this time period. But one of the babies, named Napoleon, starts beating the shit out of Austria so hard that they throw Austria at the house, and it explodes, forcing them to sign a peace treaty, making France mega cool. Then France gets tricked down by Napoleon, and Napoleon adopts France, and for the sake of the story, he is just going to be called France. Anyways, France now makes their country mega, and they're about to destroy ugly British, but they fat and destroy everything at Trafalgar, like what Mr. Crawford said. That ship would be better off floating in Trafalgar, but it's not guts and black powder, so Mr. Crawford dies because he got dysentery at the age of 12. But now France is scared of Britannia because Britannia is buff, and they are too powerful. So France then does crazy stuff, and Europe starts trying to kill France again. And Napoleon the Lucky gets mega mad again and starts destroying everything again. It goes to Austria's
house and destroys it again, forcing everyone to stout. Now Francis Mega and me on Green Blue Unicorn Dragon, so they be like me, cool, but Europe get pissed off again and crash out. But this time Big Daddy Russia is battling for real. So now France get ready to go crazy, and go crazy, and go crazy. So they start destroying Russia House and get to Moscow section of the house. But the Russian is super mega poor, no food is there, and then the house explodes and France try to run home. But literally, the whole of Europe is now attacking France. So now Russia starts destroying France, and Leipzig gets destroyed, and France they die forever until they die forever again. But then Fatty Napoleonini gets sent back to Elbow Island, but Napoleon ice cream not very happy. So we go back to France, singing cook, and then everyone raw.
Napoleon ice cream destroyed everything. France went back to normal, but now we're poor. Then Sardinia say, you know what we could be? Italy being made cool, and then they united Italy
And made it pretty again, but the Pope and his stubborn ass sat inside the Vatican. Until Sardinia eventually gave up, but they forgot about San Marino, so they aren't in Italy either. So now there is a line of 8 houses that are now owned by Italy and his cool people. But France then come over to Italy House and say, you should go up to Austria's front lawn and yell, hi, 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 with the bomb strapped to your chest. And Italy thought that was funny, so they did it. And Austria came out of their house with a big minigun and started shooting Italy. But Italy dodged all of the shots, so then France came over and crashed a bus with 4 Hochhausen KG and TNT into Austria's house and exploded it. Then said, you get this part of Austria yard. And then France put up a 20-meter tall fence that covered 2 inches of Austria's yard. Austria had mega OCD, so they wouldn't be able to sleep for the next 4 years because of the unequal yard measurement. Then Prussia gets a mega idea. What if they wait? Never mind, Russia just exported so much wheat that everyone in Ukraine died. Directly after that happened, Hungary exploded. Austria's house and said, ha ha, me house is mine, now not yours. This obviously infuriated Austria, so they started attacking them. But Hungary was mega fat, so all their attacks bounced off. Then Russia came over and said, what the fuck, I'm killing this blow. So then Russia slapped Hungary so hard the fat melted, and Austria killed them and stole their house again. But this time they had to rename and name themselves to Austria-Hungary, otherwise Hungary would do this again. Literally immediately after that, the Ottoman wanted Crimea, but Russia said no. So Ottoman ended up rallying the whole of Europe against Russia and started battling. But Russia was mega buff and somehow almost won, because all that was left was one single British baby. Everyone had their heads smashed against the wall except for the Ottoman, who Russia accidentally farted on, but that would put an end to the Crimean War. But now that it was crazy time, Italy started getting mega mad and shot a rocket at Ottoman's Libya house, and then declared that Libya was Italy house now. But Ottoman was still a brain dead catatonic vegetable when Russia farted during the Crimean War.
The Crimean was ill.
But now that it was crazy time, Italy started getting mega mad and shot a rocket at Ottoman's Libya house, and then declared that Libya was Italy house now. But Ottoman was still a brain dead catatonic vegetable from when Russia farted during the Crimean War. After being silenced by Russia's diarrhea problem, Prussia gets a mega good idea. Because when Prussia looked at an online language map of Europe, he realized that all of Central Europe speaks German. So Prussia kicked down every door of every person that speaks German and handed them a paper saying, you want to join me? And pretty much most of them said yes. But halfway through this, France busted down their own front door and started shooting Prussia. But then only pissed all the German people off, so they all united and made the chain of houses unite. So now Germany, with the exception of Bavaria, are now one house. So Germany gets mega buff and grabs France by the neck and throws them at their house, just like the French did to the Austrians. This obviously destroyed the house and made France surrender. Russia's diarrhea problem, Prussia gets a mega good idea. Because when Prussia looked at an online language map of Europe, he realized that all of Central Europe speaks German. So Prussia then kicked out every door of every person made the chain of houses unite. So now Germany, with the exception of Bavaria, are now one house. So Germany gets mega buff and grabs France by the neck and throws them at their house, just like the French did to the Austrians. This obviously destroyed the house and made France surrender. So Germany gets mega buff and grabs France by the neck and throws them at their house, just like the French did to the Austrians. This obviously destroyed the house and made France surrender.